Hi, welcome to God Vlog. My name is Scott Elliott. I'm the pastor here at the First Congregational Church in Mount Vernon, Ohio. I'm doing a series of vlogs for Lent in 2021. I'm doing them online because of COVID. A lot of people can't meet in person, so I thought I'd reach out and just do some short vlogs. Lent is a time of education traditionally about the faith, and I thought I'd start in a better place than just talking about God. So I'm going to go a little bit and anchor this in one of my favorite scripture readings, and that's from Paul in Acts 17. Most of you have heard me talk about this particular verse a number of times. Apostle Paul in Acts 17 reports that it is in God we live and move and have our being. God is what we exist in, what we move in, what we live in. It's a simple lesson that children, youth, and adults can all take in. God is all of this reality, this universe we wake up to. It's all God. We're swimming in the divine. And the beauty of this simple reality about the nature of God is that when we understand God as Paul does, as being the reality we live and move, then know it. No argument can prove that God does not exist because existence is God. And certainly some may claim they do not mean the existence God, but that's an argument based on words. It's semantic. Because while existence cannot fairly be denied, it can be named and characterized as people choose fit, which is where both religious and secular arguments come in. Existence is God, no, existence isn't, no, God isn't, yes, God is, yes, existence is, and on and on and on. Perhaps that sounds esoteric, but it need not. The simple child, youth, and adult friendly lesson is that God is everything, all that is seen and unseen. In short, we live and move and have our being in God. God soaks us. God is all this isness that we swim about in. That's fathomable. What's unfathomable is that means God is as vast as all that is. What we know, what we don't know, that's huge. That's ginormous. God's here and out there everywhere, known and unknown, all of it. And the more education we have, the more we live, the more we learn, there's vastly more unknown about the universe and our existence than is known. And consequently, the only way humans can accurately describe God beyond being all of existence itself is basically met with metaphors and with poetry. And it's very important we understand that metaphor and the poetry is not God, only attempted descriptions of God with our little bits of human understanding. See, when we get right down to it, our words about the full nature of God at best are metaphors of what is impossible to fully imagine, let alone try and describe. We can't actually fathom, put into words or images all of God. God can't be captured in statues or pictures or idols or words or other boxes that we construct. The best we can only say what our experiences of God are in part likened to. As Paul is also reported to have noted when he described God. A poet said it well. Paul said, "We're the God created." Well, if we are the God created, it doesn't make a lot of sense to think we could hire a sculptor to chisel a God out of stone for us, does it? So Paul says in Acts, humans can't come remotely close to fully representing our maker, God, in what we ourselves make, whether it be art or music, science, education, or any other set of words or images, which means even poetry and metaphor fall short. We ought not to think that anything we as mortals describe fully captures God. God can't be boxed in or between the leaves of pages or in education, in church, or in schools. And this includes not just classrooms, but sermons and, yes, vlogs. And I might also add the words of the Bible. The Bible contains some beautiful human expressions, a thousands of year old poem, if you will, by multiple authors trying to verbalize God through the description of divine experiences. but it is not and never was meant to be considered God, nor was it ever intended to be considered the literal word of God or a graven image of God. What the Bible is words of humans over time telling us as best authors could how they felt experiences of God. Those metaphoric and poetic words can help us a bunch in our quest to understand and experience God. It can help a lot of us, but the Bible's plainly not God. You see, in the end, Paul's right. God can't be put into any human box, be it art or science or words. Moving all the way ahead to the 20th and the 21st century, I like how Marcus Ward puts it. He writes, quote, reality is sometimes known, experienced as a presence, as having more the quality of you, them, and it. Thus, the personal language for God is appropriate, so long as the one in whom we live and move and have our being in is not reduced to a person, a supernatural person about whose existence one can argue. Reality, isness, what is, is. The question is not whether isness exists, but what it is like. God is our reality, our what is, our isness, our truth. That truth is this reality that we live and we move and we have our being in. It's God. Well, thank you for joining me. Please go in peace, knowing that you are loved, that you matter much.